exciting. Welcome back to Bayona's RC World, and in today's video, today starts the build series of the top Flite P40E Warhawk kit. This is a 64-inch wingspan. This is going to be powered by a Sato FG21 4-stroke gas engine. High-tech servos, high voltage. I want to go ahead and thank Frank Washburn from Frank's Model Aviation Workshop for, once again, providing me this kit, sending it all the way over here to the Pacific Island of Guam for me to go ahead and build and enjoy. Sit back, relax, enjoy the video, enjoy the build series. Let's go on the journey together to get this box of wood into an actual flying model. Alright guys, so to kick off the actual start of this build, we are going to start off with the horizontal stabilizer, elevator, and vertical fin and rudder assembly. Alright, so with that said, we got our Top Flite manual. Can't beat it. I don't know. Just got everything you need pretty much to get started. It will give you all the information, all the materials and items you need, little tips, and also for selection of retracts, flaps, and all that stuff prior to the actual build. So you can see right here we got build the horizontal stabilizer. This is all the steps basically to get started with the actual horizontal stabilizer assembly part. It's gonna be fun, guys. Alright guys, so before we actually start the build, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the CA or the adhesives that I'm going to be utilizing for this build. Now this is just going to be utilized at the moment for the start of this build while I'm waiting for the actual CAs. But in the meantime, if I were going to wait for that, I wouldn't be starting this build today. So what I have on hand at the moment is we got Titebond. If you haven't tried utilizing Titebond CA, go check it out. You know, I don't know, I think it's a little bit more expensive than your typical hobby grade CAs, but for being all the way out here on the Pacific Island of Guam, we have an actual hardware store that carries this CA. And I used this on the Top Flite Cessna 182 build, so if you go back on some of that videos, you will see me utilizing the medium and the thin. I also love using Titebond. Alright, so just wanted to go ahead and share that before we go ahead and start with this actual build. Alright guys, so we got S1 through S6 and the elevator base basically all punched out. As you can see, I got all the sheeting, basically all the numbers, the letters, and all nomenclature of the part all embossed, highlighted with the pen, so I can at a glance see what I'm looking at, just like all the ribs. And so as you can see here on the ribs, I went ahead and outlined all the areas where the tabs, because these tabs basically will be taken off or broken off, cut off, however you want to call it, when we get to that point where we're going to sheet the other end of this elevator or horizontal stabilizer. Alright, so by doing it like this, you can, when the structure is all put together, you're able to visualize where you need to break that off or cut it off. Alright, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all together, and I'm going to lightly sand all these frayed areas or all the ends, just to get it where it can sit nice and straight without any interruptions. Alright, there's a lot of us building this particular kit at the moment, alright, and everybody's gonna have their own certain techniques, so that's what makes this hobby awesome. I'm gonna stop talking, we're gonna go right into time lapse and get this thing done. Alright. All right, so we got the horizontal stabilizer all framed up. Right now the glue, the CA, is just giving it time to really cure and everything for all the joints, and then we're going to go back over everything with some medium CA and just strengthen up all the joints, all the ribs. And from here, once everything is all dried, we're going to pull this off of the board, and we are going to start shaping the leading edge here down to the ribs. Alright, so as you can see, it's mainly going to be concentrating at the tip right about over here. From here to here is where this leading edge is going to kind of taper down, and we're just going to form it, sand it down really nice where we have a good transition from the rib down to the leading edge, and the back end with the trailing edge just going to go straight, flat, and flush. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing. Once everything is all dried up and everything, we're going to start sanding all that down, and in the meantime we're going to go ahead and start preparing the sheeting for the top portion of this horizontal stabilizer. Alright, so yeah, not bad. About a good 15 minutes of work, actual work. Alright, so the horizontal stabilizer is completely dried. It's been a few hours now, so we're going to go ahead and take that off of the table and go ahead and start sanding the leading edge and trailing edge, basically just getting it all nice and leveled with the rib top surface. And then we're going to go ahead and start truing everything up on the ends prior to putting on the top and bottom sheeting. Well, actually top sheeting first, and then we're going to remove all the tabs underneath, sand that, do the same thing, sand it, and then put the bottom sheeting. So while that was drying, I went ahead off camera and did up the skins, or the top and bottom sheeting for the horizontal stabilizer. If you guys really want to see how that is done, you could check out Frank's Model Aviation Workshop. He went into detail as far as how he trues up his sheeting prior to edge gluing and all other stuff. I also had done it on the Top Flight Cessna 182 build, so you can check that out as well. I went into detail on that, so I don't want to, you know, repeat the same thing. I know it's a different model and all, but yeah, we don't want it to drag on too long. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and take the horizontal stabilizer time, and we're going to start sanding all basically the leading edge and the trailing edge, and blending all the ribs into these areas. Alright, trying to get it in a nice smooth transition from the top of the ribs right down into the leading edge. Alright, and by utilizing a sanding T-bar, you ensure that every single rib will be pretty much in line with each other. One rib won't be higher than the other when you're sanding, but at the same time, we're not trying to reshape the airflow or the airfoil of the ribs now. All right, so we're not trying to reshape it. We're just really concentrating on the leading edge and trailing edge area. All right, trying to just get this to flow. Plan of attack here. Make sure everything is good to go. Okay. Just make sure everything is good. So are we ready? We're ready to basically sheet this top. I'm going to use my T-bar sanders as a tool besides sanding. It's going to be also utilized to put equal amount of pressure down onto my sheeting. We all know that the sheeting, after you sand it and all that stuff, I mean, it's only 1/16, so it's very thin, and it will conform to your hands and the structure underneath where you're pushing down on. And so if you already got glue on there and you're pushing it like this with your fingers, you will tend to make the sheeting kind of warped, all right? Or you'll see the depressions of your handprints and all that stuff, right? And you may not see it right off the bat, but when you cover the plane or when you paint it and stuff, you will start seeing the waves and stuff. So with that said, we're just gonna take the sheeting, we're gonna plop it right down where we need it to be, get it started, and then with the T-bar sander, we're just gonna put pressure equally down and move all the way around like so. All right, just put in equal pressure. All right, and that way the sheeting will always remain straight. It won't conform to the ribs like in between type deal. And yeah, it'll just look a lot nicer when it's finished. All right, so that's why I utilize the T-bar sander as a tool to put pressure instead of using my hands. So we got done gluing the top skin, top sheeting to the horizontal stabilizer. So we're just gonna go ahead and just leave it like that and let the CA cure. All right, and from there, once that is all done and cured, we will basically trim all the excess. All right, so I went ahead and flipped over the structure. Alright, horizontal stabilizer. I just wanted to see, to ensure that you could see the skin of the top sheeting and the ribs, how the sheeting is really stuck onto the ribs, each rib. There's not a gap or anything on there. Right? So as you can see, no gap in between the sheeting and the rib. So we got a nice straight top sheeting. If we look straight down, you're not going to see the sheeting kind of doing that number like in between each bay and stuff. So yeah.
All right. So we got the horizontal stabilizer, basically top and bottom sheeted. And went ahead and glued the blocks at the end. Yeah. So that's that. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on. Now we are going to start on the fin. We're going to build the vertical fin. This is basically about I'll say less than 6 minutes of work. I got the vertical fin all framed up right here. And just waiting for the glue to dry. Then we'll be taking this off the building board and blending in the ribs to the front leading edge, or sanding the leading edge to the front of those ribs. Right, just trying to get everything all nice and smooth, and then we'll go ahead and start the sheeting process for the vertical fin. And then right after we do that, it is time to start working on the elevator and rudder sections.
We're just gonna cut off the tabs, sand all that, and get the sheeting that was prepared, and get that all completed. And once we're done with this vertical fin, we will start off with the building the elevators and then the rudder. All right. We also got this the block that will go on top of there. All right, just like so. And then we're gonna actually form that, you know, trim all this up and everything. All right, so that's what we gotta finish up, and let's get back to work, guys. Also, if you have any questions in regards to where we're at, you know, I like to also open this up for those of you who are planning on building your P40 by Top Flite 60 size, or just have questions in general. Feel free to go ahead and put some comments in there, and I'll go ahead and I do read all through my comments daily. So if I know the answer, I will give it to you. If I don't, I'll lead you to the right person, or, you know, channel, or whichever reference. All right, but I've been doing this for 40 years, so I think I can answer a majority of the questions, provided that I have done them. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and engage, and let's have fun throughout this whole build series and the journey of the Top Flite P40E Warhawk. Let's get back to work, guys. So we got that all sanded down, didn't take that long. It's like I said, we're not really trying to reshape everything. We're just really trying to just get the leading edge blended in to the front up here on V4 and V3 rib, and then eventually just feathering edge the rest from V1 and V2 rib. Alright, and then all the little high spots in the rear, blending it with the trailing edge. Alright, so that's what we're doing, what we had done. Now, to prepare the sheeting that I did off camera, like I said, if you need to see how we prepared the sheeting, like I said, you can go check out Frank's Model Aviation Workshop. Frank has done an excellent job in showing how you prepare the sheeting to get it ready for this. If you want to also see that in greater detail, a little bit more, or just on a different model, same brand, Top Flight, you can check out my video on YouTube, the Top Flight Cessna 182 build series. You can check out the wing, or even on the stab and the vertical fin. I showed and explained exactly what the process is and the way I do it. Alright, and so far for 40 years it hasn't failed me, and it's been great. You always get a nice seam. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, for this one here on the instructions, it requires that this bottom sheeting from V1 rib need to be at least ½ inch below V1. Alright, so to ensure that my sheeting is ½ inch below, what I'm going to do here is measure. I'll put a mark ½ inch from this edge up. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Oops. Just gonna put a mark just right here, just to give me a visual of where I'll be needing to have my sheeting placed at. And just put a really faint line there, just like so, just to give me an idea. Alright, and so when I put this on here, I'm going to pre-position my sheeting right to that line, just like so, inside and out. Alright, so just like that. Alright, ensuring that you have enough on the sides and the ends, alright, that it's overlapping a little. There you go, just like so. Alright, and we're good to go. Alright, so from what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to add a little bit of tape right here at the trailing edge and sheeting, and then I'm just going to flop it over, add the glue, and then put it right back down on. So what we're going to be doing next here, it's kind of jumping back and forth and stuff, and I really want to get at least one thing all shaped up and everything. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and start shaping up, rough shaping the horizontal stab tips, right? These blocks right here. And what I'm going to utilize are basic woodworking tools like these rasps. Alright, I got quite a few. I got more, but different type of teeth and stuff. Alright, also got a round one, which I use it from time to time, depending on the job. Alright, so yeah, so what we're gonna do is I wrapped up some tape just to kind of protect the balsa here on the sheeting, because if I were to gouge it, you know, if I didn't have the tape on here, I would not know if I am getting too close. All right, once I see a little scrape on the tape, I'm either going too much of an angle or I'm actually getting very close. And the main idea here is just to get about 1/16 close to the sheeting as far as thickness, and then you can go ahead and utilize different grits of sandpaper to get the final finish. But either you can use a planer to get most of the material down, or harsher grit sandpaper, you know, maybe 60-80 grit sandpaper. But I find it for all my blocking issues and stuff like that, the thick ones like this, I tend to use my rasp. It's way faster, gets me down to the shape, I can control it better, and I can actually see it visually. All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead and show you that just a little here. We're not gonna harp on it too much, but I got my material here. I'm gonna ensure that my rasp is, you know, leveled, it's flat. I'm not kind of going down like that, and my main idea is just to keep it with this not passing that tape. Now I could go ahead and tape the rest, you know, but we don't really need to go the whole length of this rasp. Just real small. All right, just like that. And the main thing is holding down your part. This is great for wingtips, you know, just to get it down, get the material down. And just like that, we basically cut down the material. All right. So, also, side note, I tend to save a lot of my shavings. All right. You can utilize these shavings for like fillers. All right. If you don't have any balsa filler and all that stuff, or just regular filler, I tend to utilize some of my shavings mixed up with a little either resin or I don't really go with epoxy because it becomes a little gummy. So either resin or even Tide Bond glue, and mix it all up, and you can use that as filler. Not just that, but it's also the same color as the wood. So that's you don't have to do it, but I do it from time to time. Alright guys, so we got the rudder all framed up, all the ribs, leading edges, caps, all that stuff, basically all
installed, glued. Now we just need to go ahead and let this cure, let it dry, and then we'll start shaping all the ribs and all the blocks. Alright, so we're gonna have to shape that to the vertical fin. Alright, what we're going to do here is basically transfer all these rib location onto this elevator base. Go ahead and kind of pin this down, preferably in between. How many of you are falling asleep already? How many of you already fast forward this part? Alright, so yep. Alright, that's it. We're gonna flip it over, do the other side, but I don't think you need to sit there and watch me do that again. Alright. So we got the elevator, the rudder, all framed up. All we need to do is sand it to the taper based off of the plans. Alright, so we're going to have to get it to that taper. That's for the elevator, and that's for the rudder. So technically, just straight back. Yeah. So we can safely say the vertical fin and rudder assembly is done for now, as far as frame up and all, sanded. It's not completely final yet. I still need to go ahead and use smoother sandpaper, finer grit sandpaper, and just fine tune everything. Then we still need to make the bevel for the front leading edge of the rudder and hinge it. How I'm going to prepare this, really, you do what you will on how you want to prepare and get your bevel or your sand your shape. But for me, as you can see, I'm adding myself a guide. That way I don't over sand or over cut. Right?
And so how I'm doing that is just basically taking a piece of balsa, lining it up flush with the top of the leading edge, like so, and butting it up on the bottom, laying it flat on the base. So I'm just putting it down like that, and then I just get my pen, and then I just outline the top section, and then it gives you your line. That way I could just come over, cut 1/16 above that line, and it'll be less sanding compared to, you know, trying to sand it from the get-go. So I'm gonna do that to the rest of it. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and add that line. This is the right bottom elevator, and this is for the control horn placement, or 1/8 control horn block. So we have to basically cut that out so that this block can get epoxied countersunk in there. Alright, so you can do this a few ways. You can score it with your X-Acto blade around the perimeter, just like if you were wood carving. You would basically trace this outline with your X-Acto blade, and then make smaller cuts in between in all directions, and then you can slowly pry it out. Or you can also utilize a Dremel tool with a fine bit and go in there and actually Dremel this thing out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dremel part because it's just the way it is. Alright, let's get back to work. So now it's time to do the elevator joiner. Alright, so I already have pre-marked everything. Alright, so I got my center line as well. For right after this, we're gonna go ahead and glue on the balance tab right here. And then we'll shape it and then do the bevel. So I'm just gonna measure it out just like so, right about here, following the rib. So you can tell I was a little I kind of had the drill bit going up a little because it was almost burning out through the top here, but no big deal. There you go. And then from here we'll just make the groove on this line so that we can get this rod countersunk inside there. Alright, but let's go ahead and do the other side real quick. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and take care of the rest off camera. I don't think you guys need to really see making the groove. I mean, you could just in case somebody is new to this, you can either use a 1/8 thick brass tubing, sharpen the edge, the inside, and kind of just run it and gouge out the material right here. You could also use your drill bit and slowly make that channel, right? You can use your X-Acto blade, cut a little V, then come back and utilize your joiner and just kind of run it back and forth inside, you know, to get the proper curvature. So I mean, there's a lot of ways you could do it. Those are some, you know, three easy ways to make that that groove, right? And you're gonna end up sinking it down or counter sinking it to where the full thickness of the rod, so the rod will be really in there like so. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you found some of the information useful. And I will see you guys on the next part 2 of the top Flite P40E Warhawk build. And don't forget, if you like this video, you like the content that I'm putting out, click that like button because it does help out the channel. Kind of pushes us up there in the algorithm by YouTube. Alright, so yeah, leave some comments as well, because that also helps, you know, as far as engagement wise. So please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and leave some comments. Let me know how I'm doing. If you got nothing else to say, just let me know how I'm doing and what you like and don't like about the content, blah blah blah. Need help doing something, you have a question, you know, I'd love to basically engage with you guys. So yeah, other than that, plans are already on the table for the wing for part 2. Once I'm done with uploading this video to YouTube, I am starting on the wing. Alright guys, so looking forward to that. I will see you guys on the next video. Try to get these videos out at least once a week for this build series, provided that we do have the content or we don't have a stop in the build. Alright, so as long as I have good content for it, you guys will get videos. Alright guys, you have a good one. See you in the next video. Shit.